Have you ever been on a website and just wondered what makes this thing feel so alive? What makes it respond when you click, update in real time, and just feel interactive? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on that hidden force, the secret sauce that powers the dynamic web. And that force, you guessed it, is JavaScript. So let's get into it. I mean, really think about it for a second. When you're filling out a form, or maybe you're playing a little game right there in your browser, or you see a social media feed that just keeps updating without you ever hitting refresh, something is working behind the scenes, right? What is it that gives a static page of text and images a life of its own? Well, the answer to all of that is JavaScript. Okay, so here's a great way to think about it. Imagine a web page is like a human body. The HTML, that's the skeleton. It gives the page's basic structure, all the bones. But, a skeleton by itself can't really do much, can it? That's where JavaScript comes in. JavaScript is the brain and the entire nervous system. It's the part that tells the skeleton how to move, how to react, what to do. It's what makes the body actually come alive. So let's really dive into that idea. We're calling this first section the web's nervous system because that's exactly what it is. We're going to get a really clear, solid understanding of what this language is all about. So, at its very core, JavaScript is the official scripting language of the web. Its whole purpose, its entire reason for being, was to add that layer of interactivity to what were otherwise just static, boring HTML pages. It's not about the structure, it's all about the action. And that leads us perfectly into our next section, making web pages interactive. Now that we kind of get what it is, let's look at what it can actually do. What are those real things we see and experience every single day online? And wow, when you start listing it out, you realize just how much heavy lifting JavaScript is doing. It can put dynamic text on a page, changing a generic hello to hello, your name. It's what reacts to events, like when you click a button or hover over an image. It can even validate your form data, that little message that says, hey, that's not a real email address, before you even hit submit. Fundamentally, it can read and change the very building blocks of the page on the fly. Let's make this super, super clear. Imagine a web page without JavaScript. It's static. It just says, welcome to every single person who shows up. It works, sure, but it's not personal. It's just a fixed piece of text, bolted to the page. But then the brain kicks in. JavaScript starts a simple two-step process. First, it grabs a piece of information, like your name after you log in. Then, in the blink of an eye, it uses that info to write a brand new, personalized greeting right onto the page. And the best part? No page reload needed. And boom, this is the result. The page transforms from a static welcome to a dynamic, welcome, Alex. This right here is the heart of what JavaScript does. It makes web pages respond and change based on you, the user. Okay, so that's what it does. Now let's peek under the hood and see how it does it. In Section 3, we're going to explore JavaScript's core tools, and don't worry, we're going to break it all down into 3 simple, easy-to-understand building blocks. All right, tool number 1 is the variable. The simplest way to think about this is that a variable is just a container. It's a little labeled box where the code can store a piece of information, like a name or a number. And to bring it right back to our analogy, you can think of a variable as the brain's short-term memory. It's how the web page remembers a tiny piece of information, like the name Alex, so it can use it in a second. Tool number 2, the function. A function is basically a reusable block of instructions that's designed to do one specific thing. So instead of writing the same lines of code over and over again, you just package them up into a neat little function and call it by name whenever you need it. So in our brain analogy, a function is like a learned skill or a recipe. The brain doesn't have to relearn how to say hello every single time. It just follows the greeting recipe it already knows by heart. And our third and final core tool is the event. An event is, it's pretty much any action that happens on the web page. A user clicking a button is an event. Hovering your mouse over a link is an event. Finishing typing in a search box, that's an event too. And this is what completes our whole analogy. If the variable is the brain's memory and the function is a learned skill, then an event is like the website senses. It's the sense of touch, the thing that tells the brain, hey, pay attention, something just happened, you need to react to this. So we have memory, we have skills, and we have senses. Now for the really cool part. Let's put it all together. In Section 4, we'll see exactly how it all connects with a simple, real-world example. Let's trace the journey of a single click. It all starts with the event. You click a like button. The website senses detect this. That click immediately triggers a function that Learn skill will call add like. That function's job is to update the variable, the website's short-term memory, changing the like count from 0 to 1. And finally, the action. The text on the page instantly updates to show 1 like. Senses, skill, memory, action. That's it. That's JavaScript in a nutshell. And that brings us to our final big idea, our main takeaway. Section 5, the language of interaction. This is really the true identity of JavaScript. So if you remember just one thing from all this, let it be this quote right here. JavaScript was designed to add interactivity to HTML pages. It wasn't an afterthought. It wasn't a nice to have. It is its fundamental purpose. It is the language that builds the bridge between a static document and a living, breathing, interactive application. So now you know. You're in on the secret behind pretty much every dynamic website you use. It's not magic. It's that brain and nervous system we talked about. It's JavaScript. So the next time you click or type or scroll and you see the page react instantly,